My guest is Cyndi Romine. She's the international president of Call to Rescue, where she rescues lots of women and even children. There, as I've mentioned before, seems to be a media blackout on the problem with human trafficking. And Cyndi is right up at front and center, and so I want to hear her story, and want you to hear her story, and just make us aware, and just have open eyes, and maybe we can help make a difference in this area. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Veronica. Well, it's wonderful to be here today.
It's great to have you here.
Yeah, this is very fun. We haven't been out here for a while, so this is a nice little journey out on a nice little rainy day, so it's great. Yeah.
What else is there to do on a rainy day?
Exactly. So I am the international president of Call to Rescue, and we rescue minor children from sex trafficking. That is our mission.
Minor children, not so much women.
Not so much women, but of course, if anybody needs rescuing, I go out and rescue them anyway. But according to the statement, the mission statement, right, it's minor children. And we've rescued over 1,470 kids in the last 3 years, minors. Mm-hmm. And I don't really count the older ladies and the women. I just count the kids, and we just focus in on that. That is worldwide, and I do have huge organizations in the Philippines, and we just opened in London. And it's interesting, in London,
wow,
the gal that's running it was working for the social service. She ran social services in London, so quite a huge job. And the Lord told her to just quit her job, and he would provide something. And so we ended up going to London, and I said, did anybody want to help? And she said, this is me. So now we're tracking kids that are being trafficked out of Nigeria, Africa, to Libya, Africa, to Naples, Italy, and then they are spread out through Europe through Naples, Italy. So that's a huge thing we've just taken on, and wow, we've just taken that on in the last, well, I think that'll happen in July. So it started, it's rolling, we've got paperwork up and running, we've got contacts all along the way, and we're about ready to start in on the actual rescue situation. And we have contacts with police in Italy and different things.
Is rescue done mostly on foot, or is rescuing done mostly on making phone calls and following, GPSs and
every
things like
lead
that?
You can find, absolutely. It just depends on the situation. I rescue a lot of kids sitting in my recliner at home, because I just rescued a girl on Sunday. Mm-hmm. So what happened on Sunday was somebody knew me, gave somebody, grandma, the information, called this lady. So then I started tracking back, trying to figure out where she was. They said, oh, she said she was in downtown Portland. And I said, she probably isn't. You just kind of get a sense for what's up. And
because you've done this so many times before.
Exactly. Yeah, and they know that if you say downtown Portland, every parent in the world freaks out, right? So anyway, we tracked her, and just through phone conversations with all the relatives and anybody who'd talked to her. And so I picked out the one I felt in the family she would respond to most appropriately. It was an aunt, mm-hmm, and I said to her, call her, mm-hmm, see if you can get a hold of her. She did, and she talked her down and went and picked her up.
Wow.
And it's that simple, yeah, right? It can be that simple. And she was only gone for like 6 hours.
Oh, was she being sex trafficked, or did she run away?
She was a runaway.
Okay, so you deal with runaways and,
oh, yeah,
and all the above.
Because if you have a runaway, you will have a kid that's sex trafficked.
What percentage of the time?
I think if they're on the street, I think, just for my personal, this is no statistic except for Cyndi Romine, my statistic, but I think if they're on the street, anywhere from 6 hours to 3 or 4 days, they're going to be sex trafficked. They can't be out there alone. Somebody's going to pick them up, because they have to eat, they have to have a place to stay, especially in the winter. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So she got saved from that. But you're saying, like, what, 95% of the time?
I think so.
Uh-huh.
I think it's that high.
100%?
Yeah, I think it's that high. Yeah. Because we had another little girl from out in here, and she was, she went to work at a fast food place, and a guy that was also working there figured out, you know, that she was vulnerable and she hadn't had many boyfriends, and he kind of scoped in on her, and she told him that she had money in the bank. Oh yeah, really smart kid. And so he, of course, emptied out her checking account, and then he did take her into downtown Portland, and she was sex trafficked. But we had her back within a week.
Wow.
But she was already hurt. And when they're already hurt, you've lost, right? In my mind, we've lost if they're already hurt, because there's never a full recovery from being sex trafficked. There's never a full recovery.
Yeah, I mean.
Can't be.
Yeah, awful. Okay, so when you say 1,400, the majority in Portland, or are they just in the Philippines?
Philippines
England?
and not England yet. Philippines and all over the United States. Just those two, just the two countries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not any of the others.
Okay, I'm going to ask you something controversial.
Okay.
Because to me, there's no controversy in it. But let's see what you think, and even what the viewers think. You know, I just know the whole issue around in the border has been in the past.
Right.
Sex trafficking, and it's a political way to make tons of money.
Sure.
And many of the politicians, including the last administration, was highly involved in it. Okay, is that, that's partially my opinion, but that's also picking up different pieces that I have heard. And there's private investigators would say, no, that's a fact. What's your take on that?
Well, I kind of stand on this situation. I don't really care.
They're people that need rescue, period.
There's kids that need to be rescued. I don't care who's in it and who's involved, because I don't have the time to rescue and track everything back to the bad guy.
Okay.
I leave tracking back to the bad. I get the bad guys a lot of times, but tracking back to the bad guy is not my focus. My focus is to rush in and make sure the kiddos are fine.
Okay. Well, how about this then?
Okay.
If we, and I don't mean to drag you in, and I don't want to talk too much about this, but this is part of it.
Sure.
If we shut the borders, do you think that that would fare better with the young ladies?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yes. The borders are absolutely serious situation. Matter of fact, my husband and I were down in Tijuana, and if anybody's ever been down there, there's this wonderful street called Revolution that everybody, you know, goes and buys their gifts and everything. So we're walking down the street, we get to this corner, and this Mexican guy and this blonde girl with blue hair, this blonde girl with blue eyes comes around the corner, and she looks at me and she goes, "You've got to help me. They've taken all my papers. I can't get back across the border," you know.
My.
And she was yelling, and I was saying, "Now wait a minute, you can get back across the border. You're obviously from the United States. You can. I'll take you right now. I'll get a taxi. Get a taxi." And he's dragging her. I mean, it was like this incredible 5-minute fight in there.
Wow.
And we were in a situation where she had to make a choice.
And it was you and your husband?
Yeah,
Okay.
my husband and I. That's it. No help, right? And she did make a choice, and she went across the street with him, and I never saw her again.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so everything isn't wonderful.
What was the bottom line? Why did she choose that?
I think she thought she might be in love with him.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You know, what's that? The Stockholm Syndrome?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's how they get them in the first place, right? They start emailing or Instagramming or whatever. "I really love you, you're so gorgeous," and then you just wave goodbye to all the little girls, right?
Okay, I had done a series talking about my personal experience, and somebody local here, Chris Brad, who her mom, or his mom, was part of a cult ritual in a secret society. Now, I have talked to people also, so it's not quite as personal as it was with him, but I
Right.
have had enough conversations with enough people to have a pretty decent idea what goes on.
Yeah.
In your experience, is it secret societies, or is it random people like men just wanting to be a pimp and make some money off of somebody else? What's your experience?
It's all of the above.
All the above.
All the above. So you've got everybody trying to keep it quiet. You've got the cartels involved. The girls start out as mules to carry drugs,
yeah.
and then the cartels go into it, and then you've got the guys on the street. So the deal is, if you have, every guy usually has 4 or 5 girls that he's pimping out. By the way, 50% of all pimps are women. So whether it's a woman or a man.
Shame on them.
Shame on them, and shock to all of us.
So Epstein's girlfriend sounds like an
Yes,
example.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Epstein's girlfriend was more like what they call the bottom. So you have in this new culture, the sex trafficking culture, you have the guy at the top, and then you have his first choice person, who would be the girlfriend, called the bottom girl, which she's the top. It's just one of those things, right? And so anyway, she would be the one that does run them. Yes. And so you have
run the young ladies, because she's kind of like
the administrator.
befriends them, and kind of like she's kind of like the mom, the sex mom.
Yeah,
kinda.
make sure they have everything they need. Oh, honey, how are you? Yeah, everything goes through usually.
Kind of adds to the Stockholm syndrome. Huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because the girls probably see her as a safety.
Yeah.
And the guy is the mean one, and so.
Or however that looks, right? Can look any way it looks. Every situation is absolutely different. So you've got all of that going on. But if you're running 4 to 5 girls, you're making $200,000 a year tax-free. That is quite a salary. $200,000 tax-free.
Yep.
Quite a salary. So you've got all of this stuff going on, and the guys are going, hey, this is easy money. So what's happened is, it used to be drugs is the first moneymaker in the crime world, and then guns, and then girls. Now it is drugs, girls, and guns.
Oh, the drugs are the worst still?
The drugs are still the worst.
Okay.
But, it's like if you have a product that's going to be used, it's going to be used up. Drugs and guns. If you're going to have a girl, she can be used 20 times a day. 20 times a day. I mean, that is a lot of finance coming in. So it's totally money driven, and the girls are used and abused and don't get any of the money. Right? They don't get any of the money. So but they are taken care of in that they keep them alive. So.
Yep. They gain the whole world but lose their soul, these pimps. So, the Shanghai Tunnel, you know anything about that?
Yeah, in Portland.
Yeah. What do you know about it?
Just that it exists, and that it has been part of who Portland is forever. And, trafficking they were trafficked. They have holes in bars and stuff where the sailors.
Shanghai bar?
Yeah, and they would just drop the floor open. So the story goes, you drop the floor open, you take the guys and you take them out on the sea, and they're gone, and there you go.
You mean still, now to these days, do they still go out in the sea?
No.
No,
and they don't do the Shanghai thing at all. I mean, there's people down there, but it's...
No, it's open, I heard.
Well, it's open, but it's not, everybody knows it's open. It's not any different than being on the street. I mean, the cops know that it's open, and they watch out for everybody that nobody goes down in there and gets gone forever. Just like any place else,
Okay. So do you have anything to say about the Shanghai bar, for instance?
No, not particularly.
Okay.
It's not any different than any other place that... we have so many places where the girls can go and dance, and then they end up going upstairs, and then they're trafficked, and there's so many places.
Well, like if there's the Shanghai bar, for instance.
Yep.
Okay, which I heard it's a big problem.
Yep.
The owners are part of it. Shouldn't they be arrested?
Well, of course, but you have to have proof. You have to have proof, and that's the bottom line on all of this.
Okay.
And once again, I'm not after getting the proof on them. I'm after rescuing the kids they've got.
Right.
Right. So my focus is a little bit different, and I leave that to whoever is going to do that, which is usually private investigators and cops. And
okay. Do you know of any businesses, which I know that's not your thing, but when I see the businesses, I think the kids.
Sure. And I know that they're all over everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some of the Portland businesses,
of course.
There's a mall. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't have the proof or whatever.
You can't do anything on hearsay. You have to
Yeah.
do everything on proof.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But you don't have any, in anything that you can call out right now?
No.
Okay.
Neither would I do it
Or neither would you
on
do it.
film. No, because when I find something out, I go straight to whoever it belongs to, right? If it's in Portland, it goes to the Portland Police.
Yeah.
If it goes across the bridge into Vancouver, it goes to the FBI,
Okay.
and I let them take care of it.
Okay, so that brings up another subject. Some people, and I love policemen,
Yep.
but some people would say that the Portland policemen, they have some issues because, like they let Antifa run wild. Maybe not the people themselves, but the people on the top say, stand down. Do you trust the police in Portland, or
Totally.
do you really?
Totally trust them on my level. On my level, because I go out with flyers of all the missing kids in Oregon and Washington, and I'm on the streets all the time. And when I track a kid down, I know where that girl is, usually girls, 70% are girls, 30% are boys. I track the girl down, I know where she's at, I am looking at her, I'm dialing 911, I'm saying this is Dr. Cyndi called to rescue, I've rescued this girl, this is her name, and she's sitting right here, and I'm keeping my eye on her till you get here. And I'm telling you, they're there within 5 minutes to pick up that kid and rescue that child. Because we can't just take them off the street,
Okay.
then we become traffickers, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's there's a lot of people that they look at the YouTube, Antifa videos in Portland, and they see the policemen just watching it happen. I mean, I have a hard time, when I see that, I have a hard time trusting the police. You're saying on your level, where?
In my experience,
Okay.
totally, they have backed me 100%.
Okay.
What I do, they're there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
It's huge.
yeah.
For
huge.
me, that's huge, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
my
Huge.
protection.
Huge relief.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
And then when we talked one time, you trust the FBI people you work with too.
Totally.
And a lot of good FBI people, but then we've seen some shady
there's
businesses.
always shady business.
Shady
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
Oh, okay. What have you seen with the Trump administration? I've heard that he is quietly, one of the reasons why they're mad at him is because they are, basically shaking down their human trafficking ring.
Here's what I know. There's all kinds of stuff that goes on everywhere. And the people, you don't know who it is. You don't know who it is. What I do know about Trump is I love the fact that he's gotten all of these people together, one of whom is Linda Smith from Vancouver, Washington, who also was a congresswoman. And he's put this coalition of people all over the United States together to help fight trafficking. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he's doing a great job.
And nobody knows that. I mean, I just hear bits and pieces
Right,
from
because
alternative media.
who wants to tell anybody that?
Who wants to say
that
that
he's doing anything good, right?
Yeah. Okay, so Trump is helping rescue.
Absolutely.
Yeah, human trafficking.
Yes,
So that's
yes.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I uploaded a video on YouTube, and there was a comment saying, and again, it's propaganda. Trump and his his sexual, with his daughter. It's a rumor that's out there. But
I don't listen to rumors.
Yeah.
I don't. And when I mean, even on like Facebook, I watch what people forward, and I think, you have just forwarded something from nobody. These people have no credibility.
No idea.
No credibility
Yeah.
who you're forwarding stuff from. It's like, don't do that,
Yeah.
right? If
Yeah.
you don't have facts, of course, I'm the fact lady because I'm the one that's rescuing the kids, and I have to have facts on who the pimps are so we can get them,
Yeah. Well, to me, it's a really sad situation when I see that because, that's obviously a ploy from the Democratic Party. Accuse somebody of something you might be doing yourself, or some people in your party are doing yourself, and just try to, get people against him. So he's trying to help, yet there's another side that is making a false accusation, photoshopping a
just
picture or whatever.
exactly like life.
Life, yeah.
I mean, people probably do the same thing to you, right? I mean, this is just life.
Yeah.
So anytime somebody does something wonderful, you'll always have the people that come behind going, well, she could have done blah, 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 blah. It's like, how much do you want me to do?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so I think it's life. I think people love the drama and the intrigue, and yeah, I stay out of it.
Well, I'm really happy to hear that you actually, from your experience and your expertise, you see him doing a lot of stuff.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And it's legal stuff, and he's putting it through, and he's using the right people.
Yeah. So as kind of the last wrap up,
Yeah.
what can the common people do?
Okay, I love this question. It's the perfect question for a wrap up. What can I say? Okay, so I want to speak just for a few minutes to every parent and grandparent. All right?
Yeah, all right.
All right, so my number one problem is the kids are turned loose with all electronic devices, and that's where they're getting into trouble. Pornography, blah, 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 all the way. So here's what I'd like parents to do. I'd like them to never give their child a phone or any electric device on Christmas or their birthday. Pick a random day. And then say to your child, hey, I went out today and I got you a new phone and you're going to use it. I bought it. It's on my plan. I'm paying for it, and it's really my phone, and I'm going to let you use it. So you're not giving them a phone. You're giving them use of your phone. Changes everything. And then you say, I need every password. I can pick it up anytime I want. It's my phone. And by the way, AT&T, Verizon, everybody has a situation where you can pay $10 a month and track that phone anywhere. Every parent needs to track that phone, right? Then next, they need to put all computers and phones need to go to bed with mommy and daddy in your room, not with the child. The child should not keep the phone overnight. They're staying up till 2 in the morning and you're wondering why their grades are no good, right? It's because you've allowed it, and now they are in their bedroom alone doing whatever they want, which is never good for a teenager at all. So all teenagers will now hate me, but the truth is you've got to start taking control of what's going on in your own home.
Yeah.
So do you have questions about that? I know you have a kid about that age.
That's great advice. The flip phone, I got him a flip phone.
Perfect. That is perfect.
Yeah, and
because
just
you can't
buy
get
a
internet.
card.
Yep.
Actually, you know what? Comes to find out, you can.
Yes, you still can. The kids can do anything they want with them. So you need to go back and
but it's not very good.
It's not very good.
Yeah.
You need to go back to him and you need to say, okay, I'm going to get you a really good phone on November 1, which makes no sense whatsoever. It's not a holiday, whatever. And I'm going to give it to you to use, and it's my phone, and then start out properly with a fairly good phone and get it all locked down from the get-go. Get it locked down when you get it.
Yeah, yeah. Games and
yeah.
They make friends through the games.
Oh yeah.
And then they wind up giving out personal
Yes.
information, and they're actually predators on the other end.
Exactly,
a lot of
and
times.
there's an app that looks like a calculator, and you open it up and it's not a calculator. You got to go through every night and open all the apps. You've got to look at all the text. You say to them, if I open that phone and there is no text in here, you're grounded for life, because I know you've been texting, right? And so, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
so you're not going to pull one on it.
Okay, yep. So be really involved with your own kids.
Right.
So that's what we can do at home.
Yes.
Anything we can do further from home, call you if we see something suspicious.
Call me immediately. So if you lose a kid, first of all, you make a police report, and secondly, you call me 3 minutes later, right? Because the police will tell you to wait for 48 hours. So now you've got, okay, let's say you lose your child. So you go and you get the police, you do everything you're supposed to do, and they say to you, Veronica, now you go home and wait for 48 hours. Well, that sounds like the stupidest thing I could possibly do.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out and find my stinking kid, right? And that's what you need to do. But most people don't know what that means or how to do that. That's when you call me and I say, okay, this is step 1, go do that. Step 2, let me know what happens. Step 3, okay, you need to change this. We're going to go this, you know, and I lead you through that process, and usually we find kids right away.
Okay. Are you able to rescue kids from DHS? You know, when they get...
Okay, so
there's been a lot of that.
Okay, so here's the deal with a minor child, and this is what's hard here in the U.S., because I also work in foreign countries that I can actually rescue a kid forever, right? But here in the U.S., if they've been in if they're, you know, in the foster care system, or if they're headed there even, There's absolutely nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do to stop it because I'm not the parent, I'm not the legal guardian. So whoever is the parent or the legal guardian, that is it. And so I find the kid, the police pick up the kid, and they're gone from me here in the U.S.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, girl.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. I love this show.
Okay. Well,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that was Cyndi, and she's doing a great work. So, you know, again, there's so much going out there that, you know, human trafficking is, I guess, yeah, the number 2 moneymaker nowadays, and so it's a big problem. You know, be careful how you vote, for one thing. You know, thank God we have Trump in right now just to help in this situation, and this is, we need to even get that down more at a local level.
Yeah.
But yeah, take care of your kids, watch your kids, especially social media. So yeah, there's things we can do to help, so we can start there. And if you are somebody out there that you're in a situation, or you know somebody in a situation, please contact her. Swing by the studio here. You can talk to me if you forget her number or anything. I'd love to talk with you, and Cyndi most certainly would.
That's
Thanks
right.
for tuning in. Have a good week. Bye-bye.